Can you hear me? Sometimes it's weird. Haha! That never happens. How exciting. You guys can hear me and I don't have to like leave and rejoin? That never happens. Will, don't be a pill. Or you're gonna get muted. I'm feeling tyrannical. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hotter than balls, and there's a fan blowing on me, and you're gonna have to deal. So I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't stay on track. I just yap. I just yap. Hello, hello. All right, Tinkerbell is gonna be our question reader today. Yay.
Hello, hello.
How are you? How's everyone?
Okay, I am mighty unprepared.
To be fair, I gave you like 20 minutes notice, so I'm gonna cop the blame on that one.
Too busy talking about KFC.
Why is it always KFC with you British people?
It's so good. I tried Popeyes. I heard the hype about Popeyes. I tried it. I gotta say, I can't back it. It's not good. Not here anyway. It's not good. It just tasted burnt. And
Chick-fil-A tastes good.
the biscuit was like a weapon. It was so hard. I just
Yeah, but
KFC all the way.
y'all like have a respect from KFC that's only rivaled by like Japan. Like
Yeah, KFC's really good here. Really good.
All
That
right.
and it's not KFC. It's fish and chips.
Fish and chips.
Can't
All right.
Sorry,
I
I'm just
am
breaking.
okay. 183. That is quite a bit more than we had in the RSVP. Kind of giving people a minute to trickle in. Da, da, da. Okay, so primer, beginner thing we do at the beginning of town halls. Kind of how this works. So we have had a mega thread going in the suggestions thread channel for about a week now, maybe a little less. I've not really been on top of the town hall thing, so I do apologize for that. We are going to be drawing our questions from there first. So Tinkerbell will be reading them out. I'll be answering them as best as I can, and or giving you the runaround, one or the other, right? And then afterwards, we usually have time where we'll just take questions from you guys from the chat in this in the town hall and answer them as best as we can. So if you didn't get a chance to put your questions in the mega thread, that's fine. You'll get the opportunity at the end to ask them in the chat. However, don't spend the entire town hall spamming your question. You will get timed out and then no one's going to answer them. Please and thank you. On the vein of spamming, there is a bunch of staff in the call and in the chat. They're paying attention. If you're repeatedly spamming things, you're going to get timed out. If you're being a twat waffle, you're going to get timed out. If you're just being a dick, you're going to get timed out. And I might maybe pick on you relentlessly. Who knows? Other than that, we genuinely do our best to get to every single question in the suggestion thread. If you didn't get a chance to get in there this time, we do this every single month. It's usually the first Saturday after Force Wipe. We are late this month because my life is in shambles, but not usually late. So make sure to pay attention to the Discord. Monthly, we take the opportunity to sit down and talk to you guys and have that community feedback. My mic is shit because it's hotter than fuck out and there's a fan behind me and I am not sweating my ass off for you. So, deal. Chill. Bro acting like we're made of money out here. Anyway. All right. So, I think that about covers it. Why don't we kick this thing off? Tinkerbell, what do we got?
All right. So the first suggestion is Red40, and he said, add to the website. Hold on, sorry, it's not written the best. Let me try and reword this. Add server downtimes as to whether they're online or offline to the website to help the community see what servers are on or off.
We have plans for an effective status page eventually. It's nowhere near the top of the list right now. I'm sorry. I know that this wipe in particular, and maybe last wipe, primarily this wipe. Face Punch did some fucky things on Force. It's caused some stability issues. But primarily this wipe, there's been issues with like hub going down and staying down for a while. We've mitigated for that by changing the US hub restart time so that more people are awake and around if it fails to come back up. Sorry, I'm trying to pay attention to chat. So we're kind of mitigating for like the acute need that's happened this wipe. However, the whole server status thing on the list, not at the top of the list at the moment. All right, what do we got next?
Fix the recycler perk from Prestige. Apparently it's very buggy. The button does not change states. There's no sound. After you recycle and put something else in, you can't start it.
So I'm going to give you my understanding of how this plugin actually works because we tried. So essentially what it does, right? It's not pulling up a recycler for you. It's pulling up the interface and a box that you're putting things in and then spitting out the recycled materials. It's not an actual recycler. So there's no way to get the noise to work at you. The whole like button thing, not changing states, we also tried to work on. We can take another look at it. I think Crying spent like a week or two on it, maybe 4 months ago. I can put it on the list for Penguin, which is something I'll be doing a lot today. So I do apologize as far as like concrete stuff. Penguin's given me permission to like make him a to-do list, but as far as like knowing whether or not something might be possible, he reserves the right to be like, that's impossible. I can't do that, if that makes sense. Sorry about that. All right, what do we got next?
1 moment, I've lost the suggestions channel. Oh, there it is. The ability to say link or auth in Discord chat to get the auth link. I'm assuming it means add to the bot so that if you
Yeah,
put auth
I can add a command to the bot. Link site bot. Can do. It's on the list. I will get that done.
The next one is please have the ability to skip low-level dungeon quests.
No. So the reason that the quests are designed the way they are is it's progression based, right? And I know we're in a content drought. A lot of this is going to come down to this. So I'm going to take the time to talk about it right now. We're in a bit of a content drought. Things are feeling really grindy. We're coming up towards an XP wipe. We're coming up towards V2. So we've shifted a lot of our focus and attention for content creation towards V2 launch and the things that are coming with that. Those of you who were in the last town hall might remember some of the sneak peeks. A lot of our development time, a lot of our game design effort has been shifted towards that V2 launch and having more content come with that, like the raid, the big raid content. It was the launch site one that I showed off during the last town hall. Player-owned shops is another one we're working on for in the hub for the V2 launch. We're working on like a lot of content stuff for it. So we're at the point, right, where it's coming to the end of an XP wipe. You don't want to do the earlier dungeons, the earlier raids, that kind of stuff. And you've been doing the same thing over and over and over again for coming on 6 months, and the progression really isn't there right now. I know that that's the case. We are working on expanding the world, the universe, and the content with the V2 launch. part of that is that we have created the idea that you have tier 1 area, right, which is the mainland. It's the raid worlds with the dungeons and the raids and the Bradleys, the helis. That's all tier 1 level content. Tier 2 is going to be deepsea, our new launch site raid. Like that kind of content is going to be the tier 2 universe. We're going to spend the next 6 to 8 months really building out that that tier 2 content sphere, right? And then from there we want to move into tier 3, which is, fingers crossed, because we're getting close to it, going to have a lot to do with custom worlds, different maps, right? Because right now every world you go to, raid, world, hub, it's all the same map. We're working on map switching, and that's going to be where a lot of our tier 3 content comes into play, which is like people have talked about, like the mining world, right? And like a unique and special skill tree that kind of like does the exploration stuff. So I know we're in a content drought right now. I know the lower tier dungeons are boring. It's structured that way for a reason. And the reason I'm not keen on the idea of breaking up the quests right now is because once we have that broader content sphere in the next, next XP wipe and then the next XP wipe after that, I want to keep that structure to tier 1 area that has these kind of progressive quest lines. I think I kind of wrapped that up back to what we were talking about. I hope. All right.
That makes sense.
All right. Where are we at next?
The next suggestion is add a text-to-speech bot for people who don't have a mic in Discord. Voice chat.
So, I'm not going to say no. I will look into it. The built-in text-to-speech in Discord is a hard no. A bot is a maybe. I'll look into it, is the best kind of I can promise there. All right. I'll add it to the list. What do we got next?
Add a chicken coop automation.
Okay, Penguin and I just had a conversation about this, and I do have some questions for you guys if you want to talk back to me and chat a little bit. How exactly is the automation broken? Because we had a plugin, an existing plugin, that allowed you to, I think, simply pipe the eggs out of a small bot. And I'm gathering that that's broken. Like it's not working. So it does work. You want better automation for the chicken coops. Is that what I'm hearing?
Things to do with the petting and the actually maintaining of the chickens as opposed to the.
Okay, so the plugin isn't broken. You want better automation. You want the ability to stock a refrigerator and make them all happy at the same time. Okay. So I did have a conversation with Penguin about that shortly before the town hall. He is on board with the idea of creating our own plugin for it. And the last thing he sent me is I could just move them to a nearby fridge so that all of them just go into a fridge and take all the work out for you guys. So we're definitely open to creating a plugin for that. And that might be something that you see before V2, depending on the complexity that might appear as he's working on it. All right. What do we got next?
Next is nerf the donation board by replacing the 50 mil goal with tiered milestones depending on the.
No, but I do want to talk about the leaderboard. So the leaderboard, you might have noticed, is siege equipment now instead of food. That's going to continue to change. The leaderboard is an evolving thing, and it's funny. That's fine. It's funny that we call it a leaderboard. It's not. My ideal implementation is that we have a broad set of configurations that I'm changing out wipe to wipe to wipe to wipe, right? So siege equipment, food. Sometimes I want to do one where you have to sacrifice legendaries specifically. I also want to add more rewards to it as a whole. I definitely whole ass fucked up with the ones I added this way. I forgot you could sell RP to the server first and foremost, so that server sell bonus was real fucking broken until I fixed that. And I also made a typo on the backpacks one, so like you got the reward, but nobody got the backpack. So we want to do more better rewards and the balance, right? So I do attempt to put work into balancing this, I promise. So when I decided on the 50 million point goal for EU and US, it was after looking at the crafting recipes and doing the math for exactly how much it would take for one person, raw materials wise, to slam the leaderboard, right? And finding somewhere in there. That's not a perfect way to figure things out. So what I do is run the leaderboard and I pay attention and how many times have you guys popped it for the wipe? How bad's the economy? This economy wise, this was a wash because I fucked up the RP thing. But I pay attention and I adjust the point goal and the point values for items according to what I see on the live servers, right? Like AU has their point goal is 10 million, not 50 million right now. And the siege equipment one is honestly popping too often on all 3 regions. So I need to mess with the point totals on that one if I'm going to run it again. Does that make sense? So it's an ever evolving thing. It's not always going to be perfectly balanced. At the end of the day, this is a PvE server and we're here to have fun. It's going to take time for me to gather the data that I need to continue to tweak these to a point where, they're better, right? And that kind of goes, someone mentioned, why didn't we roll back after the RP thing? Because it's a PvE server and it's a non-competitive environment. It's a group goal thing. It's a 2-week wipe. Levy gear is not going to be 900 million RP next wipe because you're not going to have that much RP in the economy next wipe. It's 2 weeks. We move on and we try again next time. It is so much more intensive work and so many more pissed off people to roll back something like RP in the middle of a wipe than it is to just let it play out. Everybody gets to have a good time and then we try again next wipe. Does that make sense? All right. So Stinkerbell just got a package. She warned me about this, that she's going to be gone for 5 to 10 minutes. So we can do a little bit of a back and forth since I kind of got through that. Yeah. So the economy is an ever evolving organism, right? Any economy is. And I'm just doing my best. Sorry, that sounded like a little bit of a cop out, but like at the end of the day, the economy has to evolve over time and with data and feedback from existing wipes, right? So we have made so many changes over the last year and a half to fuck and tweak with the economy, right? Um, content spoilers, maybe. Sorry, I get really easily distracted. Yeah, economy, it lives and breathes, it grows. It's definitely still a little overinflated, not nearly as bad as it used to be, and we're constantly tweaking things in the background. All right. Are you talking to me, Patience? I don't remember bashing on PvP. In fact, one of my largest criticisms from this community is that I primarily play PvP. I have definitely thought of tweaking the tax system. And getting a little bit more involved and in depth with the idea of taxation on sales and purchases and higher taxing on listings. So it's not negligible anymore. So it like feels like an actual mechanic in the game. If I were to do that, it's going to be something that happens on V2 launch. V2 launch is an opportunity. Mickey's funny. V2 launch is an opportunity to make broad economic changes without upsetting the status quo, or well, with upsetting the status quo. But the whole point of V2 is that it already upsets the status quo. So it gives us that opportunity to make broader and more influential changes to things like the loot tables and the loot economy and the money economy and things like that, right? Gonna be the Weimar Republic out here. Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I'm a little bit out of breath. That was bad, and I apologize.
I've been kind of waiting on Patience to get back to me before I answered his question, but he doesn't seem to be typing. So he had said, "Why are you bashing on PvP and call PvE no competition? That's not what PvE is for." And I'm not in. Oh, there you are. As I was saying it. V2 is necessary because it's the next step in how we're progressing. So V2 is multifaceted. The main technical reason for it is we are in the process of building a new proxy. We're almost there. Turner's been working on it for ages. That proxy in and of itself is new and solves 4 issues, right? So I am not a developer, and B, cannot get too technical with it because it is proprietary, but the ability to handle more player connections better, right? So like if you were here for XP wipe, we hit 1,000 pop in each region, and we were fucking struggling, like to hold that many people. So Proxy V2 primarily spawned from that to be able to hold more people, and also to put the building blocks in place to allow us to do map switching. That's the new proxy, right? The other part of V2 is the content generation. I'm not giving you a technical technical explanation of proprietary software, and that's a ridiculous ask. Nor is it something that I'm capable of doing. Anyway, the second part of V2 is the content adjustment, right? So the launch site event, for those of you who saw it last time around, is my baby, and I'm so fucking excited for it. I think you guys are going to love it. We're all really excited for it. Also, player-owned shops coming to the hub, which would give us the yeah, okay. I'm not going to continue to argue in a public way with you, but if you'd like to have a conversation on a ticket, you're free to make one, and I'm happy to have a conversation with you there. Anyway, I was in the middle of saying, oh yeah, content. So player-owned shops for Hub, the launch site event. We did a meeting and we were talking about. Oh, a brand new custom skill tree is the other big one that we wanted to work on. Completely getting rid of skill tree and building our own from the ground up. That is in the early stages of development at the moment. The launch site event is in the very late stages of development, and those of you on our beta testing team will probably be called to action soon for that one. Also, just a general rework of things that are inherited specifically from the old servers, right? Pre-worlds, like limits specifically. like the 4TC limit, the limit on how big your building can be. One of the big things that came from Worlds originally was the ability to hold more players in like a group setting and have you split amongst different servers. And a pro of that, a big pro of that, is that the general like entity load on individual servers goes down, right? So we are taking a big look at limits for building bases, placing deployables, things like that, and either drastically increasing them per player or potentially getting rid of them, depending on how that pans out. There's still going to be some like economic limits, right? Like I'm not letting you guys just have infinite fucking workbenches and things like that, or like infinite planters, right? So there's still going to be some economic limits in place, but like specifically building, I think that can take a huge, we can take a huge step back from like nannying how many things you can build or how big your base can be. So that's another one that we're working on for V2. All right. Oh, also, part of the player shops thing, because I know this comes up later in the suggestions, and I see people talking about it now. Direct trade of items between players is absolutely something we want to do and enable. And like part of that system comes into play with player owned shops and the ability to peruse at least the items on offer from anywhere, whether you're on a raid world or you're on your home world or the hub. And then as far as like the shoppy stock aspect of things, we are considering taking the player to player market and separating that so that it is global and just keeping the like server sell and like buy from server stuff specific to shoppy stock, if that makes sense. All right. What do we have next, Tinkerbell?
We just where I left off before I had to run.
Nope.
Make candles and similar stuff burn infinitely.
That is a heavy load. Flame fire effects are a heavy load on server performance in general. I will add it to the list to talk to Penguin about. I understand that you want to decorate with them. I get that. However, fire effects are rough on server performance. All right. Everlasting candles added to the list. But that one is a big fucking maybe. All right. What do we got next?
Add the legendary bread.
That is not a me thing. That is a crying thing. Take it up with crying.
Maybe one day.
I am also aware of that plugin, Aton. However, again, I'm going to give a blanket statement. We're going to touch on it, especially later in this thread. There's a lot of code fling links, so we're definitely going to touch on this again. We are at the point where we are full stop, no longer adding code to our code base from CodeFling or Loan Design or any of the UMod, the marketplaces. It is not worth the hassle. So many of those plugins, especially like the large mechanic plugins, the ones that add a bunch to them, a bunch of things, right? Add thousands of lines of code that we don't use and just cost performance. That's not to say we're not interested in the functionality of the things that you're suggesting. We will absolutely, depending on what it is, and we'll talk about them piece by piece as we get to them, we're open to looking into the underlying functionality that you're asking for. Okay, if there's no, we're good. Okay, I thought there was still an argument going on in the side chat. We're absolutely open to the underlying functionality of a lot of these plugins. We're just going to write our own solutions if it's something we want to implement, rather than just purchasing something and sticking it in the code base and dealing, if that makes sense. All right. What do we got next? And we're not. So sorry. I asked you and then I interrupted you, and that's my fault. But I want to respond to Killer. Yeah, they are major quality of life improvements. And again, we are not against the functionality that they may provide. We are against freely available for purchase code by people who did not write it for our environment. If it's something that's worth putting in the server, it's something that the community wants, it's something that we discuss and we're like, hey, that's a good idea, we're going to write our own solution for it rather than just buying it and sticking it in. Does that make sense? Yes, and we'll talk about them as we get to them, and then we can decide as a community with your guys' feedback if that's something that we're interested in implementing. All right, now what do we have next?
Could we get a way to manage all of the diesel input or resources output from /VQ into one?
No. We have considered it before, and we have put in different quality, like the ability to roll back one. Part of the gameplay there is managing your inventory, managing the math on it. Some people like to play that way. I don't personally. I just stick it in and deal with it if I play. However, when we had talked about it before, when we were looking at quality of life improvements for virtual quarries, the primary one that we were looking at was the ability to roll back on a missed one. And there was one more. I think it was some sort of search functionality. I'd have to look at my DMs with crying. But no, we're not going to add it all together. All right. I'm going to go with that one as a absolutely not moment. Enjoy the timeout, my friend. All right.
The next one, makes small present supply signals golden eggs bought by players given to players that join X amount of hours after, not just if they're on during the time it's bought.
The sad truth of the matter, that isn't the fun part, is that presents, eggs, all that, it's a revenue source. And also it encourages pop, right? So the higher the pop, the more people are getting presents, the more people are buying presents, the higher the pop, right? It feeds itself, it's cyclic. And also, I genuinely am unsure if we could probably do it. We could probably keep a table and like who's gotten them, who hasn't gotten them, and do verified checks, but it wouldn't be worth the performance draw for that. Does that make sense? To like do a bunch of calls to the database and validate whether people have received them or not, and on connect, that's a lot of calls. Like on player connected for like X amount of that would be a ton of calls. Probably not worth the performance draw.
The extension of that was also fix it for AU, because AU don't get anything when they're bought.
I do hear that part. However, it's a reward for being on when it happens. It is a compromise to the idea that we don't like the idea of being able to like purchase presents, to like purchase a legendary for yourself, but like it goes to everybody who's online at the time.
I mean, I think it's an issue with AU that AU doesn't get them.
It's because they're global. It's because they're global instead of regional. And AU, like the time zone is shit, right? So like when they were implemented, we didn't have an AU region. We had the EU and the US region. So when we made the decision to make presents and store purchases like that global, it was without the context of having a region that is on the other side of the world and nearly completely opposite to the time zones that we operate in. I don't think the answer is to make them not global, because that feels kind of shitty and like just taking shit away from people for no reason. Okay. You have been I try, bro. I try. Like, I get on, I change the things that I can, I have like direct conversations with you guys. I do try. All right. All right. Gosh.
Fuck kangaroo.
Like, specifically fuck kangaroos. All right. Jesus.
I don't know. Personally, I don't think I would fuck with kangaroos.
Yeah, no, they're scary, bro. Uh, I'm sure they will fuck you up.
I heard that Australia's not even real anyway, so I mean, I
Well,
don't
there you
know.
go.
The next suggestion was in similar vein to the last one, but with the sacrifice board, so things like the large presents when they're given out, but instead of being given out to just people online, given out to people who have contributed, even if they're offline.
I'm genuinely thinking, that one might be a maybe because we already have a table that tracks contributions, which is why you have your stats on the board and your personal stats, right? So, like, maybe, but it's a penguin question. So let me write it down. Okay. Yeah. So that one is a maybe. The sacrifice board one is a maybe because even when I was putting the rewards in as like it's kind of shitty that it's online only, right? But like that's the limits of the configuration for the thing. That one's a maybe. I have to talk to Penguin about it. I know the table already exists. So conversation to be had. All right. Yeah, so the reason that it's different, so sorry, let me just so everyone's on the same board here. Paw of Doom says, I wasn't on when the reward was given, but I still got the 144 slot backpack. It's because there's a functional difference between assigning a permission to the default group, which is the backpack one, right? Or the night vision one, or the free raid one, right? That assigns a permission to the default group, which is a group that everyone's already in, right? Versus giving an item, which all I'm doing is all that the plugin is doing is running a command. There's a built-in command in Rust for give to all, right? And you can give an item to everyone, but it's a command that's run once and then it's done, right? Whereas granting a permission, the plugin then needs to go in and take that permission away, with like the night vision or the free raids or the double XP, right? That's why that's different. I've been working on that, making more rewards that are permission based, like the server cell bonus, the 20% bonus there. The backpack, that's a permission based one. The more buy and sell offers is a permission based one. But the limitation with that is I'm working within the confines of plugins that already exist and functionality that exists within those plugins, right? So essentially permissions that are created and just not utilized. Like there's so many of our plugins that have like bonuses for like longer duration on cooking foods is an example of one. Skill tree has a million of them, right? And we don't utilize a lot of that functionality. And then I go back in for things like prestige perks or sacrifice board rewards, and I create these permissions that give you bonuses and discounts and boosts and buffs and things like that. So it's a matter of the limitations on what already exists, finding development time to create cool things that can be permission based, and just finding creative ways to use it. Why are you requesting to speak? You can just speak. You own the Discord.
It's not that power. It's funny.
You own the Discord.
No, declined. You're not welcome.
I don't know why I did that. Leave me alone. Can you hear me? Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can. Hello, welcome.
I don't know why I did that. I don't know what I'm doing. Fucking hell. I'm cooking burgers right now. Do you want one?
Yes, please. I should just ate KFC. I probably shouldn't.
Oh.
But kinda, yeah.
How is
Onions or
everyone?
no onions?
Everyone okay?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We've only got one timeout so far, I'm pretty sure. And
Oh,
like
nice.
TBH, bro is just rage baiting, so like
Hell yeah. Cool. Oh,
I've never been happy for it being overcast, I'm going to be honest. Actually kind of cool
What?
for once.
Talking about weather.
Yeah, it's overcast for once. I'm actually happy about it because of how the weather's been, so.
Yeah, the heat wave is gone. It's lovely. I'm going to be back in that Once Human tournament in about 22 minutes. If anyone wants to tune in.
Are you streaming it on Kick or?
Yeah, I have to. I will be.
Okay. Do you want to like drop a link that one of the mods can grab for your Kick and they can put it in the chat periodically?
It's on Twitch, but
Twitch, whatever it is.
yeah,
Wherever you're streaming.
I might make an announcement. I don't know. I might not. Who knows?
Okay.
Somebody just asked if I'm from New Jersey.
That is a wild question.
What am I doing?
It's like when people like show up in game and people ask me if I'm Alice. Like, bro, the accents. Like,
I mean, I've been asked if I'm Alice, but I can almost understand. But
right.
I've been asked if I'm Brit, if you can believe it.
Every time I go and like fuck around and have a good time and like admin troll, they always just assume I'm Matt. And like,
East End of London accent for sure. I'm not from London even. I've been to London once in my life. Twice in my life.
All right. There we go. We got the Twitch link.
I'm putting the burgers in the bun. Ooh, how exciting.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, yeah, the burgers in the bun. Not the buns in the burgers. That'd be weird.
I really want to go make another coffee, but that would be
I
irresponsible.
live in Scotland, Beelzebub.
Hey, Matt and Stinkerbill, you think you could entertain the people for, 5 minutes while I go make a coffee?
Potentially. They're trying to guess where I'm from right now, so.
All right.
Do you want to see my
We're watching
burgers?
Harry Potter. I want to see the
There you
burgers. I'm not from Scotland, just to clarify. Oh, don't drop
burger. On the stove, yeah. I'm too lazy for the oven. I can't be asked. It looks a bit burned, I'm not going to lie.
it. Just around the edges. One solemn burger.
Kind of hard.
You said burgers.
Yeah, I got burgers. Look.
Oh, okay. Are they brioche buns?
There, yeah.
Fancy. You haven't buttered them, though.
I haven't. No, I kind of made a mistake. Don't people do that? Oh, it's just going to get wet now from the oil.
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Wait.
Put butter on them and then put them in just for a few seconds to
oh, too
fry
late.
them up nicely. But don't dip it in the oil. I mean, I wouldn't really do that with brioche anyway, because brioche is sweet.
It's too late.
You've done it now.
Feel like I'm holding the oil down here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Huge.
How old are you? How did you survive to your age?
I have no idea. Well, that's kind of hot. Oh, is that done?
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It only takes a few seconds.
Yeah.
Well, you might be able to call it that. It might be a bit of a stretch.
Is Tinkerbell teaching you how to cook?
Not very effectively. I asked him if he'd buttered the buns, and then he was like, slapped it in the frying pan. So I don't know what's happening. Oh, no.
The dog looks disappointed. What do you mean? Frank, they're talking about you. I wouldn't take that if I was you. I wouldn't take that, Frankie.
Is he aware that your Twitch currency is named after him? Well, specifically his parts.
And so is the VIP images on the website.
Yeah, the VIP are all Frank.
Yeah, I did actually notice that.
For the redesign of the new store, the artist is doing He's doing cartoons of Frank
Brilliant.
Very
for the
cool.
new images. Oh shit!
Don't burn your bun.
Oh
no.
my god. Is that a burger? Hold on.
Yeah.
Pan back to the burger. Uh
Do you know all the stereotypes about British cooking?
mhm.
This is peak cooking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm seeing where it's coming from. I'm gonna be so
Oh.
honest.
I don't know what your problem is,
Oh.
honestly.
That depends. That depends. How high is the heat at?
I don't know. It's on. What do you mean?
I don't know. It's on. It's crazy. Oh my.
Yeah, here you go.
It does look like a puck.
I put a bit of
Every
ketchup
roaring
or
fire.
relish on
I
it, it'll
hope
be
not.
alright.
There's no cheese.
What do you think,
That should be a
Frank? Do you want
crime. There's
one?
no cheese.
Want a burger? Do you want a burger? You stinky boy.
You look so
He's
tired of your
poorly.
crap.
He's so poorly. Look, I don't know if you can see his.
Oh, baby.
He's been shaved here because they have found, like, they're trying to find out what this stuff is on him. He's got like
Oh, poor
like
baby.
bits around him that's like not got hair on it. Or he's no right, Frank. He's poor.
Brit is asked to bring plates to the cookout. Real.
Oh fuck!
Oh no.
That's getting hotter.
There's more
So hot.
buns
How's
than
it burning?
burgers.
Getting hotter.
On
How does Alice leave you How does
Huh?
Alice leave you unsupervised?
Oh, she's upstairs. She's not. She's got a headache, so she let me finish the
I'm-
cooking.
I was gonna say I'm not surprised, but that's a little bit mean. I
I need
apologize.
to turn it down.
Texas is having a party.
God damn.
Yeah, we're all going to Texas. He invited us all. That's where I'm heading after this.
I need to cook the middle of it. That's fucking hot. Oh my God. Why is the middle not cooking?
Okay, because it's a dome. It's done. It's done. Take it off the pan.
Yeah.
It's done. Oh my goodness.
'Cause
Okay,
it's brioche, it's got high
can
sugar
we get back to the question?
That cooks. Look at that. That's so quick.
I just want to put a disclaimer out there that Brit does not represent all British people when it comes to cooking food.
I don't know. I was there not too long ago, and like
Already down. Oh, it goes down more. Yeah. There you go.
the best food was things you stole from other cultures.
But that's British culture.
that's
British
oil.
culture is all other culture.
Oh
The
shit.
best thing about it.
I think it's cooking oil,
Ah.
maybe. Oh my god.
Why did that happen? Why did that?
Oh, that's a good question. Did you season your burger patty? And if so, with what?
They were
No.
they were out of a packet. They were frozen burgers.
They were straight from the packet, straight into the
Not
pan.
even salt and pepper, man.
They were pre-seasoned. They were
Jesus.
pre-seasoned from the store, like frozen burgers.
Is this a cry from hell?
I can season them after.
Oh.
Mayonnaise on it, it's done.
Okay, I
Seasoned
actually have a
mayonnaise.
really important question for you. When you open your seasoning cupboard, how many of the seasonings are red?
Look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
it's
have a
been-
lady Susan.
Yeah.
The answer is one. The answer was one.
Yeah, not many.
One.
I think they're all stuffed. They've like this has been used.
Oregano.
Frank, shut up.
Or the fact that this all came in a set. Look, all of the seasonings came in a set, and they're full.
And mixed
The bun's
herbs has been
burning.
used.
The bun's
Bun's gone.
burning.
Oh my god. Oh, I nearly don't cook then. And we got this. This is sick. Look. Sprays oil.
Oregano. Is that what you're asking me to
That's
pronounce,
fun.
Harold?
Is that actually cooking oil, or is that burger like grease in the pan? Please tell me it's grease.
That's oil.
You cooked your burger in oil?
Well, how else are you supposed to cook burgers?
Cook them in nothing because they
They're
secrete oil.
fatty.
This-
They're
they-
fatty.
Townhall.
If you want flavor, you
you
put
render
butter
the
in the
oil within
pan.
them.
Yeah.
I showed them my burgers. and they're not very happy with them.
Because they're burnt.
No, no,
Hi, Alice.
they're fine.
No, the burgers are burnt, and
No,
you
they're
can
not.
smell that they're burnt from upstairs.
Those
And I
are the
came
buns,
downstairs and was like,
actually.
oh, the house is
We
on
tried to
fire.
help. We tried to help.
We
we're
did
sorry.
try.
This one went. This one's gone. This one's done. I cannot eat that one. That's good,
Oh.
right?
Upstairs, when you come downstairs, the entire room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
Well,
no cheese or
there's no
condiments.
cheese.
This is most
Dude,
productive
I
time
love
I've
this
ever
game
seen.
where we ask people to open up their spice cabinets and judge them. This should be a new thing. This is fun.
Remind me to never ever get on
It would be mayonnaise.
because I don't have a spice cabinet. I have a spice rack, and it's got like 3 jars on it. But when I season things, I buy fresh seasoning. I season with fresh, like
Good burger. Good burger.
I
do I don't have canned seasoning.
That is a delicacy.
That is something.
oh wow. It
That's too much mayonnaise.
we really did invade half the world for nothing real. Real.
I don't know why they're bullying me about my cooking. Yeah.
Oregano. What is so weird about the way I say oregano?
Okay, well, I need to go stream, otherwise I'm going to get told off. So I'll see you when I
Okay.
get on there. Goodbye, everyone. Love you. Bye.
Good luck.
Bye.
Bye. Good
All
luck
right.
with you.
Okay, let's get back to questions. I like how we only lost 4 people for that. That's crazy.
Prime Entertainment. Aluminium.
Aluminum.
Do you know it's spelt differently in America?
I
and in
do.
the
I do
UK?
know
That's
that.
why,
Yeah.
That's why it's pronounced differently. So that argument is a null and void, my guy.
All right. What do we got next?
See if I can figure it out. Okay, quite a long one. Are there any plans to make it feel more fulfilling to grind for certain legendaries, i.e., imp, levy, chest, gloves? Considering the rarity of these items relative to the other pieces, and that by the time most players get these legendaries, it's already near wipe. Might it be possible to set it to it's such that the percentage chance of getting these legendaries are higher for players that have already got them before, or somehow make it more fulfilling grinding for legendaries?
So, briefly touched on it. One of the things I really want to do for V2 is I want to sit down and do a big sweep on the loot tables. You'll notice. Oh no, you won't notice because I haven't implemented yet. So we changed, and it's not coming in until V2. We changed the way that we handle the loot distribution for dungeon events specifically. And so I went through and I had to manually redo all of the tables. And as I was doing that, I was toning shit back. Cause like I think someone brings it up in the thread a little bit later. Like they're just like random scientists that drop like hundreds of rockets, and like the loot economy, especially for like non-legendaries, is kind of all over the place. And that's a big reason I want to do a big sweep on like all of the loot tables. And part of that sweep is going to be reevaluating the way that legendaries are split up and how often they drop, right? There was an attempt made, I don't know, 5-6 months ago when there was a big shakeup right before the original like loot drop location sheet got posted in the Discord. Big shakeup in like where you get what, right? And I'm gonna level with you guys. Brit went in and like kind of scattershot it. The goal being that we wanted people to be encouraged to do different types of content because we were seeing like people were only doing helis. It's very much turned into people only doing brads and deepsea. So it hasn't super been successful. There needs to be more intentional thought put into what drops where and at what rates, right? So I plan to do that for V2. I do plan to do that for V2. I am going to go off on another tangent, so I apologize, Tinkerbell, but it keeps coming up in the side chat. We need to do our monthly PvP disclaimer. We have interest in eventually getting into PvP. It will not touch our current systems. We are a PvE server right now. These servers, these worlds were built on PvE. We've played with PvP in the past. We've done multiple polls. We've tried purges. We've tried specific events that are PvP only. By and large, the community is pretty split on should PvP or no PvP. And at the end of the day, the people who don't want PvP at all will leave if we put a purge in and never come back because there are other options out there. We have built our community on no PvP. We have decided definitively that the only PvP that exists on our servers is the survival arena type where you have zero risk, all reward, and it's just for funsies. We're not going to do PvP abandoned bases. We're not going to do a purge. We're not going to do PvP raids. However, we have interest in doing PvP worlds, not like a world that's PvP attached to the other ones, a separate ecosystem that is PvP eventually. Okay. Yeah, we should do another raid the admin event. That was a lot of fun last time we did it. So if you'll remember, Survival Arena on Hub is still relatively new. And the length between arena pops is subject to change depending on feedback. I have been rather MIA for the last 2 months due to initially traveling and what turned into some trouble on the home front that I'm not going to get into. But I've had to dedicate a lot more of my time to being at home and supporting my family. I am coming back in and I'm going to be able to pick up where I left off on monitoring things like how often Survival Arena pops and what the community feedback is on that, and are people engaging with it? Are the rewards worth it? Is the leaderboard popping too often? Not often enough? Making new configs for it. All the things that I was doing that had to fall to the wayside, I'm coming back to it now. I got a fancy new laptop so I can work from the living room while I'm dealing with stuff and I don't have to be on the big computer. Got a lot going on coming with like the monitoring things and making some more small adjustments. You'll notice there hasn't been like as in-depth wipes announcements, things like that, like the small little tweaky bits.
Oh my god, very rice.
Why aren't you talking, Baloo? Oh, it's still there. The pineapple and ham pizza. It's just cost a bajillion to craft, and then the ones that drop in the worlds are rocks. No, never. Yeah, I know.
Rice.
Do you know what it does? No, I am not subjecting the community to that unless you're willing to pay the price.
Oh, is that the dumb one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember reading that one. It's like, do we have that? I swear I've never heard that.
Oh, it's there. And it costs a lot to craft. Yeah, that's a great question. Bait if I've ever seen it. Okay, what do we got next, Tinkerbell?
Higher quantity trading quest for bleach using duct tape or an improvement that makes it less of a time sink. Did we not
Did up the
do
beach
this?
bleach, and I did update that. Like I did that.
Yeah, I think we did that last. Was it last town hall or town hall
Wait,
before?
Maybe the town hall before. I feel like it's been in for a minute. I'm opening up Visual Studio now. Give me a second. Like
I think it's like a separate quest, isn't it? It's like you can mass. There's like a separate multiple turning or something, or what? I think that.
it's a separate quest.
Yeah.
New PC. Give me a second. Yeah, open up the repo.
It was definitely added. Whether it's still there.
No, if this is another casualty to when Matt overwrote the entire repo with his logo, I'm gonna wring his neck.
You might not have to. The burgers might do it for you.
Hold on.
Like I'm actually
Bleach.
from the Midlands of England. I just live in Scotland and have for a long time now, so I have a weird hybrid accent going on. But I'm not northern.
Some ways to die. Held together with duct tape and string. Don't drink it, trade it. I swear to God.
I just want to know that those burgers do
I
not
swear to
represent
God.
in the to cooking. Oh,
I'm gonna kill
apologies.
him.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna murder him. I don't know
One
for sure
moment.
that's what it was.
Time to take my crazy person drugs. I'll be back in just a second.
Oh, it's gone. They're gone. Ian, I was so confused when I saw that on the suggestions. Oh, oh, super frustrating. Yeah. Oh my God, dude, that fucking config gets updated so much too. So it's not even like I'm gonna be able to pull the old version off of GitHub.
I want to say that I'm surprised, but
Mm. Mm.
oh no, even the dog refused to eat the burger.
Okay, I can't go on a quest. It might not be his fault. Like I don't know that for sure, but they're gone. Alright, yay! I'll re-add those. Cool, exciting. All
It was
right.
a thing, and it will be a thing again. Rest assured.
The quest, higher amount turn-ins for the RP items for like bleach, duct tape, and batteries. They will come back. It's gonna take me a minute to remake them, but they will come back. I might have a copy saved on a different computer. We'll see. All right. What else do we have?
Right. We need to be given /R and /W commands until the issues with hubs can be fixed. Having a server go down and make the game unplayable for multiple hours during most people's prime gaming time, multiple times a week, is unacceptable. Also, having no communication from staff about issues or possible fixes or apologies or anything is unacceptable. Just pure radio silence.
Yeah, I'm very sorry that there hasn't been prompt response. The server restart time was in the middle of the night. It has since been changed thanks to Blue. And US Hub in particular is now restarting at a more appropriate time for when people who are able to force it to restart are awake and around, right? However, as far as what I'm aware of, I believe, and Baloo can correct me if I'm wrong because he's been a little bit more present than I have lately. I think there was something weird with Face Punch's update this month that caused inordinate amount of instability on like specifically servers starting up and restarting. So the way that like it's going down for hours, right? So like functionally what's happening is we have a command to restart the servers scheduled on our panel, right? And it sends the command to restart and counts down. And then the restart is supposed to fire. And if the server shuts down correctly, it'll start right back up. If it doesn't shut down correctly, the restart doesn't actually fire. What's happening is it's not actually shutting down. It's in a weird state of down, right? And it doesn't go all the way off, so there's no, trigger to start back up. That's functionally what happens when the server goes down. When you say Blue, when you say I fixed US Hub, you just mean like changing the restart time, or was there functionally something else wrong that was fixed? Hello.
Why not just come and
Oh
speak?
my god.
There we go. Finally.
Finally, I'm just playing cancel. Just hang on. So we issue the restart command now, then I wait 10 seconds, then I force it off and force it back on again.
Oh, cool. That makes so much more sense than me just restarting it. Thank God we have smart people like Baloo around.
Yeah. So hopefully in the last, it's only did it this week, so I don't think it's got. I haven't seen it go down.
Yeah, I haven't been pinged for a restart failing. So
yeah.
Cool. As far as communication, this was happening genuinely in the middle of the night for 90% of the team. We're talking, I think it was 3:00 in the morning your time.
Like 3:45.
Yeah, it's like
this is happening in the middle of the night. As far as
exactly.
lack of communication, when the server was getting restarted, it's because somebody was rolling over, forcing the restart from their phone and going back to sleep. That's why the lack of communication was there. Sorry.
Well, either that or people were being degenerates and then staying up until 3:45. Tinkerbell, Penguin. What?
Never. I've never done that. I'm in bed by 8 p.m. every day. Ignore the fact that it's past 8 p.m. now.
Yeah. We have plenty of US staff members. Unfortunately, we don't give everyone access to the panel.
Fortunately, we don't give everyone on the staff team access to turn the servers off whenever they want. That sounds like a bad idea.
Not even I'm that, you know?
No. It's access, right? And it's more than just the ability to restart servers that comes with that level of access. And for your protection, for the time and effort that you put into the servers, we're very strict with who has access to the ability to see in your inventory, wipe your progress, stop servers, things like that. Yeah, Harold would definitely shut it down.
Rest assured, though, that when things do go wrong, the people that don't have access, we spam the ever-living crap out of pinging the people that do have access.
Yes,
I've called mad.
Yes.
I've called mad at ridiculous AM.
It's always funny the first time a staff member calls me in the middle of the night. They're always afraid. Like every time. Every single time. And then I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And fix it. And they're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. Like
I was less afraid. It just didn't work when I called you.
Sometimes I do sleep occasionally.
I just Nobody said if you're online, I'm DMing, calling, asking you to fix.
But yeah, least access required. It's a good concept. We do our best. As far as that, I genuinely think Blue's fix has worked because I have not been pinged for a stuck server in a minute. And it sounds like it was just the fact that I was running a restart command instead of restart and then stop. So
Best touch wood real quick. Knock on wood real quick. That was a jinx if ever I heard one.
I was gonna say, I think that sticker does exist. But...
There's one for everyone.
All right, what do we got next?
Can we please just remove the timers for team-related things? I feel like it's best just for deepsea, but I don't see a use for the timer on the whole team on both raid servers for a Brad, especially because AU server doesn't have that much pop compared to EU or US, so it just slows down everyone and makes our market slower and less progressive.
There's the kicker. It makes sense to get rid of it on AU. It doesn't make sense on EU and US. And the problem with that, the problem with an implementation problem. The way we wipe our servers is because we have a genius person on the staff team who has created a beautiful script on a handy website. It's very user friendly. It's very any dum can wipe the server, and meaning me. And that beautiful script pushes our repo as it is to all of our regions. We do not use a separate repo for AU, nor do we have the ability to use a separate config file for things for AU. Does that make sense? Like, you get the same thing. When you guys have lower point totals on the sacrifice boards, because I manually log in and change it for you guys on wipe. And it's a much more complex config for Bradley timers and then raid timers and also dungeon timers and hey, fuck it, why not heli timers? It's an implementation thing. And I am still hoping, as I said, I've been a little MIA for the last couple months. I'm still hoping to actually drum up pop on AU. I have been talking to, I mentioned to Brit an idea for something cool that maybe he could do and potentially collab with a rather popular AU-based YouTuber to potentially help drum up some pop. It's a maybe. It's a he reached out to said person, and we'll see. Yakov would be dope. Yakov would be dope. Yakov is great.
I don't think anyone said him yet.
Nobody has.
No.
Nope.
Wilton's not AU. Simple's not AU.
Not AU. Nope.
He's Oblivion.
You're funny. Potentially, collabs are potential with I think 2 separate AU YouTubers. One of which was mentioned, but the video in particular that I was suggesting was not Winter.
We have got a relationship with Winter though, so
Yeah, we do. He's expressed interest in coming to hang out and like see what we've got going on. But I think that's more around V2.
yeah, I think Brett has said that the V2, once V2 launches, he's got a few people lined up who are potentials. So yeah, we'll see.
I don't think Willjim is as wishful as you think. But
no, I don't think Willjim is wishes. But as recently, the two of them have spent physical time together.
He's also British, not Australian.
Yeah.
I think Willjim used to play on the old servers that Matt Nallis owned. Like way back.
Little bit of background there. I think Matt and Willjim have got a little bit of a gay rust love for each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Hey, if you want to see your favorite YouTubers play on the server, comment on their videos, bro.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
Anyway, I'm going to get some food. Bye.
All right. Bye. Thank you for coming.
And he's gone.
All right. How are we doing on these questions?
Right, next one. Update /info. Just reflected new changes.
I want to take /info and I want to throw it in the garbage. And that is the plan, actually.
I'll come back because of that question.
I believe that's the plan.
That is the plan. Absolutely.
Yeah. This is your baby. Why don't you tell them about it, Blue?
Yeah, I mean, so Penguin has been, just because he's bored. He's away at the moment because it was his birthday this week. Everyone.
It was Baloo's birthday on
And
the same
yours.
day. Everybody say happy birthday to Baloo.
No,
You're not getting
one
on
cares
it
about
that
my
easy.
birthday.
You're old too.
So Penguin is away this weekend, and while he's been sat by the pool, he's written a plugin that pulls the content from the wiki and puts it into a page like info. So we are looking at bringing the content from the wiki, which is community updatable, and thanks to everyone who has updated it, and that will replace the info panel ultimately. So everything will be on there. And to the people who have been updating the wiki, you're doing a great job, and the content on there is amazing. So yeah, we're just trying to get all that together, and then we can literally combine the two, and /info will render the wiki in Rust directly.
Baloo, check your DMs. If you would like to, you should be the one to drop it, not me.
But yeah, happy 60th birthday, Blue.
Yeah, thank you.
Big one.
Yeah. You want me to drop that in chat? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, in the side chat, if you want to. It's your baby. You should be the one to do it. And that, by the way, is not a website. That is an in-game window that you pull up with a command. Because you know what sucks? Truly sucks. Truly is the most annoying thing in the entire fucking world. Hold on. Where is it? We'll just real quick share screen. Manually updating this for every little change we make is the worst. And the most forgotten about thing on planet Earth. Alright. It's not difficult. It's just tedious.
That's a work in progress, obviously. That
And also, like,
shot, by the way.
I want to, Killinos, I wanted to touch on what you said there. It's always to have out-of-date info for new players. I agree with you. And also, new players don't really read it. They have to be told to read it. And, like, that's fine. A big thing that I want to continue to work on is intuitive and immersive player education. So a good example of the ways that I've kind of implemented it in the past is the oil baron quest line, right? It teaches you how to use virtual quarries, whether you read the damn thing or not. The whole point is to teach you the mechanics of it, to have that kind of intuitive learning process so you don't have to read a wall of fucking text. An on-screen UI button. So this is a kind of like an active and ongoing conversation that we're having about like balancing, UX, right, user experience, with resource consumption. And I'm gonna be so for real with you. The button thing is, if I want it to be contextual, right? Because it's really easy for a button to exist and you to never fucking pay attention to it because it's always there, right? I want these user player education moments to be contextual to what you're doing. Think about like how the red boots pop up when you get a legendary and you equip it, right? That's contextual. It's a visual indicator that happens in context that gives you information. And employing tactics like that, and so we don't have to rely on player word of mouth so much, because I genuinely, honest to God, think that the vast majority of new players learn about info and hardy planters and quests and all of the different mechanics that we have by asking you guys, and you guys have to tell them. I think that is the primary way that information is passed along on the servers, and that's something that I want to rely on less by implementing things that give that like immersive and intuitive education experience without making you read a wall of text, because I don't like to study for video games. That sucks. At least not until I'm already hooked, you know? Like, if I'm already invested, I'll study for a video game. But people have literally done that. People have literally changed their names to /info and like literally done that. Yeah. And also open to suggestions and ideas for things that would be fun ways to implement like contextual learning opportunities, right? So if you have ideas, send them in, throw them in suggestions, please. All right. Where are we at?
Right. Some of the one about the commands swap worlds.
Commands to swap worlds are coming with player-owned shops. As soon as there's player-owned shops and hubs, you will get commands to switch worlds. It is a promise. All right.
Marketplace that spans a whole world would be nice.
We've talked about the
Alternatively,
marketplace and trading and shops. I don't think it's worthwhile to get back into it.
Legendary should use the description of the item to explain what it does instead of having a separate menu.
That's not as easy as you think it is, and it's also a ton of fucking calls. So we can't just change the description of an item, right? Like, we can't just like change the description for double barrel shotgun to specifically only for double boom in that box say that it shoots rockets consuming shotgun ammo. And inputting into like that UI is something Penguin and I were talking about with the whole like red boots icon and intuitive stuff for player education, is like contextual things like that. So it would only pop up if you have a legendary, right? Is really fucking expensive because it's hooking into something that that players are doing all the fucking time, which is opening their inventory or clicking on an item. So that's a really expensive call for a relatively low payoff, resource consumption wise. All right. But again, as like I talked about just a little bit ago, we are looking into intuitive ways to educate players, open to suggestions for sure. But it's a tough tightrope to walk to implement things that make sense and work that aren't ridiculously expensive for no reason on resources. Right, again, but already put his foot down. He does not want a HUD, like a server HUD. He doesn't want that. I don't know what that means, Stubbs. HUD, heads up display. I know. Don't even get me started, Hydra. we have a beta tester group that exists. Different features, different changes require different kinds of testing. It, as a matter of fact. So like something like Proxy V2 is initially going to be very closed management and devs only testing for like basic functionality. And then we're going to need like a staff testing and like our closed beta testers like testing period. And then we're going to need a load testing period, which is just scattershot, throw as many connections at it as we can. So like different projects require different kinds of testing. So the answer is maybe. Depends on the feature. All right. What do we got?
Next one is better loot in custom monuments and base rust monuments.
It depends on the map and it depends on the monument and it depends on the number of crates that spawn. So in order to like put a crate in a place, right? There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can either bake it into the map, which takes a lot of work, right? To bake extra stuff into the map. That's why people sell like specific monuments on CodeFlang. If you want to add it to like a vanilla monument, you have to break the monument apart and then add stuff in there, put it back. It's the whole thing. Or you can create a plugin, which most of the time you'll see in things like events, right? Like the radtown event, the harbor event, those events, in which the puts crates in specific monuments, and it's usually framed around an event. Aton is very much aware that you guys consistently give the feedback that you want monuments to be more worth it. However, he is very much limited in the fact that like he doesn't get to put in custom loot crates like you'd see like when you're looting a heli. He gets to pick from the Rust loot crates, which have custom loot tables, but they're generally worse than the dedicated events as a matter of just like pure progression, right? Like if you're paying for an event, you should get better loot out of that event than just walking to Oxums and opening a military crate. Does that make sense? So he can put more crates in monuments, which takes time and effort and has to be done specifically for each monument. And you can raise your hand if you want to correct me at any point, Aton, because I'm trying here. And put more of them in there, or he can get pre-made monuments that have more crates in there. But at the end of the day, the basic military crate loot table is the basic military crate loot table. The brown crate loot table is the brown crate loot table. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. What do we got next?
More community events. Currently there's only one being the arena.
Okay. Community events like survival arena?
It says we currently have one main event, and that's in the hub. Tiered goals like unlocking the ability to find new legendaries or unlocking new bosses that the community needs to work to beat would be sick.
Unlocking the sometimes there's suggestions or it's like at a very basic level it sounds like a really good idea, but like the implementation it would be really intense. Like if the community had to hit a goal and hitting that goal would be the trigger that would then inject items into the loot table, which is controlled by another plugin entirely. It just doesn't really work that way. And while it might be like remotely possible, it would be a lot of moving parts for a relatively low payoff. if you want to talk about community events like Siege the Admins and things like that, we have somebody on the staff team who's put together some really wonderful plans for that. Initially just a kind of overview, and then when I asked for more details, like an actual SOP, he really fucking delivered. And that's something that he doesn't even know yet. Well, he's finding out now. I'm gonna reach out to him to have a meeting about soon, to get those happening more frequently. Things like hide and seek and scavenger hunts and like karaoke night and like community events. That is something that's on the docket and there's active interest from staff in making that happen and kind of getting that up and running. All right. What do we got next?
Automation is the name of PvE. Any way to automate tasks named for a makes for a far better experience in Rust. /QR so far has been amazing to use. Possibly a system to have automated refineries. Menus would be cool. It would cut down a base clutter and lag from running 10 refineries constantly. Even if it were a menu you could use from opening a single refinery would be cool.
So there's a similar question that's going to come up about farming too, like farm planters and like virtual farms, virtual refineries, virtual furnaces. We made a decision, a creative decision, as far as like the vision for the servers and how we want like the play to look like, that we don't want to do a bunch of run a command, pop up a UI for the full functionality. So automated like virtual farming, virtual refineries, virtual this, virtual that. The general consensus, and one that I agree with and kind of brought up, is that like that's not super rewarding or immersive gameplay. And remember, the goal here is not a simulator. It's not a factory game. The goal here is an MMO in Rust. We want an immersive experience for the players, which means more physical interaction points rather than run a command and pull up a thing. Does that make sense? Yeah, some stuff is boring, but there is built-in automation for things like refineries. Like, but before we ever started the servers, not a huge PvE player, but I'd played some PvE, and one of the most rewarding experiences I've ever had on PvE was creating an entirely automated base, not just the auto sorter, but automated refineries that turn themselves on and off depending on what was in the system, and that pushed the low grade into crafting boom and crafting meds and crafting all the things. That's one of the most rewarding experiences that I've ever had playing PvE. Like, it is very time consuming, but it's, again, PvE, this thing that we're creating is part of it is the freedom to play how you want to play, right? Like, if you're the kind of player that you want to be the richest person on the server, you should be able to do that, but it should be a challenge to get there. If you're the kind of player that wants to automate the shit out of everything and explore like the outer limits of automation in Rust, you should be able to do that. But I'm not taking the challenge away from you. If you want to be the kind of player who wants to get the best fucking gear and go out and grind events and like just be overpowered as fuck, you should be able to do that, but I'm not going to take away the challenge. Does that make sense? Like, find a group, build a team. Like, there are all of these different kinds of players on the server. And again, but if you remember, we talked earlier on, one of the main things that I want to do with V2 is take a seriously hard look at limits for building. There are going to be economic limits in place. I'm not going to give everybody infinite planters because then the economy doesn't matter. But I want to increase like building size and the number of TCs you can place and like things like that. Like, the whole point of Worlds was to have a very densely populated server where everybody's talking, global chats popping, but also spread the load amongst different worlds, meaning that it gives us headroom to expand beyond what's capable, what other servers are capable, right, of doing. So like the reason that limit entities exists, that it is one of the most used plugins on PvE servers, is because PvE doesn't have that natural progression of entities getting destroyed through raiding, right? We don't have to have that limitation because we're spreading you across 10 different actual game servers for your buildings, right? Like we have the power of 10 different game servers to draw from. So this early part of Worlds here that's been happening is monitoring. A lot of it was monitoring like actual entities on the servers throughout wipes and through long stretches of times. And the other part of it, the part that Penguin has been really instrumental in, is trimming the fat on all of the other plugins that exist and like the resource consumption of those plugins, hook times and like number of hooks and things like that, to squeeze as much performance as we can out of our game servers so that we can take that performance and give it back to you guys in the form of an experience that you're not going to get on a PvE server that doesn't have our custom proxy. I hope that made sense. Which is why Glyph, that's why we're building Proxy V2, so that we can handle the increased load. Like, I want you guys to think back to March of 2025. If you were PvE players at the time, think back to March of 2025. And can you imagine that there was this much need, and need's not the right word, but like, that this many people would want to play PvE? Like this many. We never expected the demand to be this high. Like ever. And the demand just keeps growing. Like you guys just keep coming and it's great and we love to have you here, but we need to like shift gears. We need to rebuild that proxy. We need to like be able to handle the load. I have 11,000 hours in this game, and I never would have thought there were this many people who wanted PvE Rust. Like, we just didn't expect the demand.
Can I just get a vote to time out Dubs for that last comment? Because
I thought it was pretty funny. I don't know. That's been the biggest surprise for all of this. Not no. So there is no way to find out how many hours you have on this server because there are 10 game servers that are worlds, 4 that are raids, and 1 that is a hub on each region except for AU. And those being different game servers, Battlemetrics would be the tool that tracks your hours connected to a specific server. But because we are an amalgamation of a bunch of different servers under a proxy, that information is split up amongst all those servers. Battlemetrics is a public website, bro. If you want to go check how many hours you have on Ace Rust 3X solo duo, you totally can. That is a public website, and you can go find that information. There's a back end. That's Archon. That's different. The staff needs to chill. Oh. But yeah, all of that, like your personal hours are spread across all of the servers in a specific region. And so like amalgamating that information. Eventually, potentially, we can write our own system and it could be part of our website that would have like, you know, your specific stats or whatever, but not yet. Automated farms. I don't like it. I'm gonna be so for real with you. That doesn't mean it's a no, just because I don't like it. But it's a conversation that needs to be had. A large part of the gameplay loop is forcing you to come back to your house to harvest your planters, to sell them, to be able to fund your gameplay. Like, it's a big part of the gameplay loop, and I'm even seeing it in the chat right now. There's a lot of people who seem to understand that. No, he's not talking about virtual farms. Sorry, I assumed your gender. They're talking about a storage adapter on a planter box, is what they're talking about. I would remove the flower vending machine in a heartbeat if I didn't think it would be Woodpocalypse 2.0.
My opinion on the planters is that, like, actually
They
having
are
to
too
manually
heavy.
do them is there's only so much like you have to do to maintain a steady income as it is. So like having to go and harvest your planters is like one of the very few things that you have to manually go and do for a passive income.
Right, and like it's so easy to be rich on this server in items and RP. Like there has to be a gameplay loop. Like there just has to be.
Mm-hmm. Quarries you already have to do like next to nothing for. Like that basically is all
I don't know.
automated.
Like
You can
how are
automate
quarries feeling
refineries.
these days? Like it's been a few months since we did our final like tweak and pass on balance for quarries. How are they feeling? Do they get used? If you have people sharing quarries with you and then they log off for 3 days, their quarries go away. They have to be online at least once every 3 days. Otherwise, their quarries are no longer shared with you.
That includes your alt.
The material cost, because like I added that with the idea, like again, if it's not just RP, it forces you guys to collect. It gives items use, and that's like a thing. So many of your items don't have a use. It's the same reason I picked siege equipment for the sacrifice board this way, is like it makes you use tarp for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like is it a giant boat, Paul?
I don't know. Everybody seems to be really happy. I think we should increase it to like 10 times the material.
Sacrificing legendary items is on the list. That one is going to be really, really difficult to balance comparatively. So like, it's going to take me some more time of getting like used to making these and balancing them before I'm going to do the legendary one. Oh. Here's the thing, like, there's always going to be little things like cat gloves to cloth or flowers to scrap to like sheet metal. There's always going to be things. It's not about killing profit generation methods. It's about making sure that the barriers to entry, the amount of work that goes in, is balanced with the profit, right? Because the amount of effort that goes into an RP generation method is directly correlative to the pop of our server and how many hours you guys spend on there. and like we get so many tickets. Like, did you know that you can place when we had we had a plugin that automatically put code locks on doors. If you every time you place a door, it puts a code lock on, and you could take it off and recycle it for infinite metal. Like, bro, if you want to spend 8 hours a day recycling code locks for infinite metal, more fucking power to you. Like, I don't care. 100 metal at a time. Come on now. We don't care.
Not to burst anybody's bubble, but like 9 times out of 10, when you're doing this super secret RP making method, and you think nobody knows about it, we know about it.
Right.
9 times out of 10, we already know about it.
Yeah, but that's just it. It has to be a lot of work. And like it feels good, right? To find something like that. It feels really good to like find a method and it makes you money or whatever. Or like hours recycling hazmat suits or tack gloves or whatever. To like have your method. As long as there's enough effort that goes into the front end of it, I'm gonna let you keep it. You know what I mean? All right.
But going to Bandit and buying 1 million planters and recycling them, that's not high effort. That's why that one was removed, for example.
Right. All right, where are we at?
Right. NPC, sorry, raids are now just boring. I know that we can't bring back the NPCs, but can we at least get new designs?
So the problem, right, is, and we've touched on this in like every town hall since like the dawn of worlds, but the raid platform is at like Y level 3500. Things are weird at Y level 3500. Rust that like doesn't like to spawn shit up there. It doesn't like to have players up there. It doesn't like to like deal with things that are happening up there, right? So things get weird. Bringing in new bases, if they have elevators, they're gonna be cooked. If they have, you know what I mean? Like, because and it has changed. The raid platform can be basically anywhere above Y level 3000. We put it up there because of Aton. Can you help me? It's been so long. It has to be at that point. It has to. I know it has to. I'm forgetting why. Aton, save me.
See?
Ah, here he is.
Here he is. He is.
All right, what's the question? Because I was looking at a new map generation tool.
Why does raid platform have to be so high in the sky?
That wasn't my choice. That was the boss's choice.
Yeah, I know, but it was a good reason, and I don't remember it, and you're also in that chat.
The main reason was to get all of the raids and all the entities and all the mass amount of lag as far away from worlds as possible.
There was other shit too, because like we have the big shadow, right? But something to do with,
and the fact that having it on the main map, we have to basically find areas for every one of the raids.
Yeah,
to
remember
spawn
when we had
correctly.
islands?
Yeah.
Ugh, islands sucked.
So now when map switching goes live, obviously we can just have a nice smooth terrain map, nothing crazy, and that's all the raids can be on an actual world.
Yeah, like here's the thing is like proxy v2 is the first step, like sorry, not the first step, we've made steps already, but like the biggest step towards map switching. When we have map switching, then we can have a dedicated map for raids. And when we have a dedicated map for raids, it doesn't have to be in the sky. It can be on the ground or like normal Y level, sea level. And then we can have NPCs and we can have the fancy stuff. And it's, we don't have to worry as bad about fucking null items and Rust being annoyed that we're doing things up in the sky. And then remember when Face Punch is like, hey, for literally no fucking reason whatsoever, also Y level, what was it? They changed the rendering for like specifically above like Y level 3000 or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Above,
that
above a
sucked.
certain Y level. they said nobody should be up here anyway, so we're just going to limit it and make sure nobody can get up there. And we're like,
Yeah.
that's where
It's
literally
like that's literally
half of our
our
world is at.
entire premise. Like, go fucking. Oh god, that was miserable. That was scary leading up to that force wipe because we couldn't even get staging to work. Like the maps wouldn't load. Oh, that sucked.
Oh, that was the launch update too, where we
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
multiple maps built because we weren't sure which one was going to actually work.
Uh-huh. Oh,
Yeah.
that was obnoxious.
And honestly, they still their reasoning for that launch situation is because if you take launch site, you place it onto a map, and you run all your height map and your topology and your splat, and then you actually raise launch site up out of the ground, it's just a giant void, clear hole into oblivion. Now, what they said is they're actually going to build terrain underneath launch, and it wasn't going to be an empty void. That still has not been done. I have no idea what the launch update was.
Great.
It was completely worthless. It's still, if you raise launch site off of a map being built, it's just still a giant void in the alpha layer.
All right. I appreciate you coming in to rescue me because I forgot.
I mean, I could touch base on the custom monuments too if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
So we try to put as many custom monuments in because they're cool to explore. They're different than what you see on normal Rust. And it's just a change of pace, and it creates a whole different type of world. Now, the issue with that is that we have so many different custom prefabs, is that if we run a lot of custom monuments, then the entity count on the map starts to go haywire. I have got it down to a point where we can have an entirely custom map created from a custom height map, like the Pirate or the Big Compass, where I've manually handcrafted it, and we're at like 40,000 entities, which is ungodly low for a custom map. We put 2, 3, maybe stretch it to 4 custom monuments, and we're pushing 80 to 90,000 entities because there's so many bits and pieces to every one of those custom monuments. So we just have to be really careful on what we use. And, you can't put a custom monument in that's just a block building because it's boring. You have to have all that detail, but that's what eats up all your resources. So we try, but we got to be limited with some of the crazy custom stuff we put in.
I talked to you about the loot. There's no plugin for each custom monument that replaces the loot crates with custom loot crates. That is not a thing. So they are limited to the regular brown crate, the regular military crate, the food crates, the barrels. All of those have custom loot tables attached to them, but by necessity, they're not as good as like the ones you get for things you pay for. You pay to do a heli. You pay to do a Bradley. They're gonna have better loot. So the most that Aton could do is add more crate spawns, but he's limited by the fact that the table for a brown crate is always going to be the table for the brown crate. Yeah, but Cargo is a custom plugin built by Penguin that is intentionally limited in the number that spawn, how many you can do with your team and all that stuff. It was designed from the ground up.
It's also dangerous as fuck.
Yeah.
Well, in Killer Mouse, the whole underground custom town, I mean, that's a hidden place to go find. It's cool, fun to explore if you can find it. But like Matt said, I can place as many prefabs as I want in for a loot container, but it's all going to be the same crap that comes in a brown crate.
Yeah.
I
mean, maybe more elite crates, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of limited on that until there's a way to until we can find a way to get a custom loot crate where we can litter those around.
I mean, idea moment, because we're gonna. How do I write this down so I remember what I'm thinking? I think it would involve a plugin that creates a set of custom crates that uses the new feature in Loot Table that we have to talk to Penguin.
I mean, there are different loot crates we can use. We would have to set it up in Loot Table. So there are loot crates that are not used on a live server, like the deathmatch crates.
Yes.
So if we wanted to do like a custom profile in Loot Table and say, hey,
which I can do, but that would mean for all these custom monuments, you would have to go in and change.
We would have to manually go in and
Whereas if we, what if we asked Penguin to write us a plugin like Maddons that looks for markers and then replaces existing crates with deathmatch crates?
I mean, we could even potentially just say, hey, if you can do that, or you can use monument add-ons, or there's another plugin called like Monument Finder. Yeah. And it finds the monument marker.
Yeah,
and it says, hey, anything within here is...
The next person to bring up Lucky Blocks is getting banned.
I mean, I would think there might be a way to actually make it more of more MMO, where we could have like tiered crates, where we have a custom skin for a large box, and it could be green, yellow, red, orange to purple, and those might trigger inside custom monuments just based off Monument Finder, and they loot it, and boom,
imagine it's like that's actually kind of cool. Like, imagine like you're just out like doing your fucking quartermaster quest, and you like find
and you see like an orange crate, and you're like, oh my god, that's the legit one.
Like you just run to it. Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
And it could be random spawns, 1 to 3. This monument is huge. It gets.
You're starting to sound like Lucky Block, and you're triggering my PTSD. So,
but yeah. And then somebody was talking about custom maps. I don't think you guys understand how long it takes to build a custom map from the ground up.
I also don't think you understand that every single one of our maps is custom.
Yeah, and we have 19 maps right now, and so I don't know. You guys don't know this, but last Forced Wipe, they decided that they were going to change the location of 3 monuments, and it was 2 cave systems and then 3 monuments, and they raised them 50 meters off the ground and said, oops, sorry, you're just going to have to deal with it from now on, because that's their new height. So out of all of our 19 maps, I had to go in and redo the height of 3 monuments and countless cave systems. So it's been difficult trying to get a whole new map built, because every time we have a Forced Wipe, Facepunch goes in and changes one thing and says, oh, it's our bad. But then every custom map is broken. So yeah, I'm constantly updating them, and I have a whole new height map generation tool that I'm working on, which will allow us to do full custom height maps, which then I can take into and edit and do crazy things with. So
I love caves. Thank you very much.
So yeah, as a one-man map army here, it's extremely difficult to get new maps out and also keep the 19 maps that we have updated. But should be some coming soon. It's just a lot of work.
Okay. Are we even close to getting through the mega threads, Tinkerbell?
No, not really.
Cool. What do we got next?
We've already done community events. We've already done teleporting. We've already broached anti-PvP. Can we have bigger inputs on the poker tables?
What?
Bigger inputs on the poker tables. Currently, you can only bet 100 scrap at a time.
I think that's a convar. I'll look into it.
Can we give players the option to pay RP for prestige reset?
Hard no. Hard no. No. So that's why I'm so hesitant to change prestige perks mid-wipe. That's why, like, prestige perks are a commitment. They should be a commitment. Your skill tree is not a commitment. You can respec that essentially for nothing all the time. Your prestige perks are meant to be something that is unique to your character for the wipe. Your exact build should for the wipe. No. And also, the process of changing your prestige perks is an entirely manual process that has to be done by somebody with honest to God manager level access. So that puts us at Penguin, myself, Baloo, Matt, but I don't think he would know where to start with that one. Coltero, Crying. 6 people who could accomplish it? No.
3 of which are usually busy doing plugins and
Yeah.
fixing things and making new things. So, next one is, why aren't there jump and runs in Hub with some quests for it?
I think that means parkour.
Okay.
Yeah, we like the idea of parkour, but again, Aton has to manage the overall entity count. He builds all of our stuff from scrap. If he goes in and changes the hub, he's got to go in and change the hub for all 19 maps. We're working on once we have map switching with V2. It's not guaranteed, but it should come shortly thereafter. We'll have the ability to do more in the way of like custom maps and utilizing them than we do now. When Aton's talking about entities, like overall, that's the starting entities. That is the base level entity. We talked about this a little bit before when I mentioned that like PvE doesn't have the natural cycle of entities being destroyed through raiding, which is why limit entities exist. It's why we use abandoned bases. We get thousands of players per region, not AU, every wipe. Everybody builds a base, at least something, a platform with a TC, something. There's nobody to raid them, and it's not like it's hard to get materials, so they're not decaying. Thousands of people placing down entities stacks on top of the base entities from the map, and they don't get wiped unless people abandon them for 3 days. So making sure that our initial entity count on the individual maps is as low as possible is just a starting point, right? So parkour is genuinely just like a scattering of entities. It's a lot of work to go in and revert it. We're not opposed to parkour. We're not going to do it for the hub that we're currently using pre-V2 though. It's a lot of unnecessary work for Aton. We already talked about gifts.
Yeah. The next one is about Bradley Arenas adding some more mechanics. And I feel like this one's personal for Aton, but apparently the current arena is sad and small.
I agree that Bradleys are boring and rocket spam, and it's not the Bradleys' fault. It's the Huff and Puff's fault. It's the Ashmaker's fault. Like, let's be real. These legendaries are really cool. They're fun. They're great. We built them. It brought a lot of people to the servers, but it painted us into a corner. Like, they painted us into a corner. Like, Impact painted us into a corner. Like, remember when we nerfed Impact and everybody was like kind of mad, but now they don't care? Yeah,
Well,
Ashmaker's.
a lot of the reason for the current arenas too is because they have been set up a very, very specific way, so that if you're too close to the edge, it tells you you're too close to water because all of you little hooligans throw it right up against a wall and you glitch to Bradley, and then you cry when all your loot goes in the water and disappears. So this
It's
is what we have to
7
work
million.
with until we derive another plan. So you guys did it.
Roaming NPCs, roaming bosses, roaming little groups of NPCs. Every time we've put those in, it has been nothing but complaints. The boss has locked me in my base, or I just spawned on wipe and this guy with an M2 is killing me. And like either they're nothing burgers, they're just annoying, and you shoot them and they're dead and they don't have anything whatever to do because they're nerfed into the ground to make up for the fact that people are naked when they fucking spawn on wipe. Or they're difficult and challenging late game, but an absolute wipe killer early game.
Personally, I've actively avoided servers with roaming NPCs before.
Yeah. And like, listen, I am genuinely not trying to throw shade here, but like, fucking zombie hordes are the worst thing ever. Like, they're so annoying to play against. For like 75% of your gameplay in a wipe, they suck. They're fucking ridiculously hard for no reason. And then for like, I don't know, 25% of your gameplay, you're finally overpowered enough, and then they're boring. Like,
I also feel like there's an abundance of PvE servers that have zombies. If you really wanted to face zombies, you know, there's other options. This is just not. Kind of an overdone thing, in my opinion.
yeah.
If it was an event, it'd be different, but like free roaming is.
Free roaming is the problem because like your gameplay progression is so vast between naked on the beach and full impact or full levy fucking all legendaries. Like, you can't balance it.
We're going to have people dying to one thing, spawning, dying to zombies, and then not knowing where they died, so they can't find their body from their original death. And
also, have you ever been locked into your base by a guy who spawns wolves every time you fucking move? And like, or how about the one that like fucking downs you, just has like an instant down every time you walk out of your base?
I have indeed been trapped in my base by a roaming NPC on a server, and it made me quit. I never played the server ever again.
Yeah. Alright. Okay, what do we got next?
Next one. Why isn't the Ibag global and bigger? Ibag is global now, is it not?
Maybe. Anything that's not
global.
I'm gonna use this as a blanket because there's a few in there. Ibag, a pouch is global, Ibag's not.
I thought Ibag was made global recently. I thought it was the last wipe or the wipe before, potentially.
I don't remember. Anything that's not will be. So I don't know if you when is the last time that you just lost your entire inventory on transfer or your entire backpack? Last wipe. Yep. You better be fucking lying to me or you're gonna open a ticket right now, Glyph. Cargo is a little different because of the deepsea thing. You should open a fucking ticket. It's gotten significantly less if it's still happening. Like, genuinely significantly less. And that is because of the way that Penguin's done his magic bullshittery that I genuinely do not understand and could not explain to you if I tried.
Crazy work.
Seriously, if it was ammo, was it ammo that was loaded into a weapon? Or ammo that you just had in your bag, I wonder. Anyway, he's been doing a bunch of crazy work on it. It's gotten significantly less, and it's about the way that we are storing and then restoring these items and getting that as fucking sorted as we possibly can. It has to be the first step before we start syncing other shit, because that's the foundational layer, right? Is your backpack and items in your inventory is the foundational layer. Once we have that, then we can start adding other things because we have that foundation to build off, like Ibag and things like that. There was one time, was it this wipe or last wipe, where Penguino fucked up and like wiped backpack.
I think I might have been the beginning of either this wipe or the end of last wipe. I can't remember. But
It
yeah,
was
I know what you're on about.
recently, but yeah. Yeah, and it wasn't his fault. It was because we only have the delay, like if you push to the plugins folder where it doesn't automatically reload. We have that set up on most servers, but like the new servers and AU it wasn't set up on, and it caused issues. And they're not fixed, but yeah.
Overall, though, the losing of items, Penguin's done absolute magic. Like,
yeah, and take it from the staff
working
team,
crazy
not me,
hard with
because
it.
they're the ones who deal with tickets.
Yeah, just the number of tickets overall in terms of, like, lost items used to be our absolute highest category. Every day, all day, lost item tickets. Absolutely not the case anymore. Been completely different. It's been great.
Sorry, I'm going to a thing. While I pull that up, let's truck on.
Yeah. Why not increase upkeep on bigger bases, make it a bit more reasonable? Players farm one node and can build a whole base plus 2 weeks upkeep. It's PvE, but the environment is just AFK.
Yeah, that's actually something that we've genuinely put a lot of like consideration and thought into, and was at least on the docket to do. However, that was the person who was going to do it is no longer here on the team, and little devs, lots of projects. I'll add it to the list though. No, genuinely, like, the idea that bases cost more to upkeep if you want to build giant bases makes sense. It just does. And it's just enhancing an existing Rust mechanic. Like, the bigger the base, the higher the upkeep. We're just going to crank it up a little bit to account for the fact that this is basically a 10x server when it comes to resource grabbing. You know what I mean? Yeah, resources are basically free. Also, there's the abandoned bases thing, but I think I talk about that every town hall. So, all right, what do we got next?
I feel like this one sort of comes into the hood thing, but why not have less commands to manually type in and better UI integration? I think that's probably covered under the whole no hood.
Which one, like specifically, what does it say?
Why not have less commands to type in manually, but a better UI integration easily?
I agree-ish. Having a bunch of obscure and like hidden commands like sucks. And like, think about it genuinely. Everybody knows you can like buy a mini, except if they don't, right? And like, because most people would just go to Outpost if they don't know about it. How many people do you think have joined the server and never figured out that you could buy a mini with scrap or buy other vehicles with scrap from the vehicle license plugin? Like, it's one of those things that's like, you're not going to know about it unless you know to look for it, right? Like, so many people will come in and they'll do /my-mini, it's not there, and they'll think they have to buy their minis from Outpost. So many people come in, like, if you don't have the background knowledge, you don't know to ask the question, right? So it's like I was talking about a little bit before, something I touched on is the idea of intuitive and immersive player education. And finding contextual ways to convey information, because it, like, you just open up /info, you're gonna retain what you're looking for, maybe, and that's it. No one's gonna sit there and retain all of it. Yeah, like /by contextual implementation for education on that would be to make sure that there's something around the airwolf vendor that lets players know. Did you know you can get a personal minicopter with /by? Like, that's contextual implementation for something like /by. It, like, again, it's about minimizing the idea of a cluttered UI, right? Like, because I don't know about you guys, but like a really good example of this for me personally is Elder Scrolls Online, right? I loved Skyrim like everybody else on planet Earth. I've played some of the other ones. Like, I wanted to play it, and so I got it. And I didn't have like a big group of people who were super heavy into it, and so I was trying to like teach myself to play the fucking game. But like the UI was so overwhelming that I never stuck with it because it was cluttered and hard to navigate, and it was just an overload of information. It just wasn't worth the time investment. I'm 100% sure you guys have found games like that. Like, imagine trying to like load into RS3 in 2026, having never played RuneScape and learning how to play it. Like, come on, never gonna happen. Like, there's too much information. The UI is really cluttered. Like, it's hard, right? And so, like, I genuinely think it's super important that the game design and UX decisions that we're making are keeping that. Yeah, you have to have the RS3 wiki. The game doesn't teach you anything. Absolutely. Like, immersive, intuitive, and contextual player education, right? Like, it's all well and good to say update /info or make it pop up when you join the server. But like, I don't know about you, but every time I join a modded server and they throw fucking info panel in my face, I close it before I do anything else. Like, I close it and then I go fucking hit a tree or a rock. Like, it's making sure that the information is conveyed in a way that is easy to understand and access for players, because as soon as players are invested in the game, if they want to learn about it, then they'll start using tools like /info and our wiki and talking to the community and going to the Discord. But they have to get invested first. And in order to like help people get invested, you need to introduce them to the mechanics of the game in a way that's easy to understand. Maybe. Again, we're building the tool first. And it doesn't have to be a UI button. It could very well be a splash screen. The less information that's on a screen, the more likely you are to read it, right? Like, if it's a wall of text, I'm closing it. If it's 4 words that say, use /wiki to learn about our server, I'm going to read that before I close it, because it's not 4 words, but it's a few words, right? Yeah. Use /wiki. I don't know, whatever. But like, it's a balancing act, right? Maybe. It's also not super immersive. We'll see. It's an active conversation that we're having. One that please put in suggestions. All right. Okay, I'll get stuck on talking about UX forever if I'm not put under check. So, instant crafting being actually instant. I've been fucking tried. Penguins been fucking tried. I'm sorry. Eventually, we want it to be instant. We really do. Currently, we done tried.
Bunch of stuff about chicken
Yeah,
coops.
we talked about that.
Rust Plus.
We tried. Again, in order for Rust Plus to work, it needs to be able to ping the server. It can't ping the server because it gets stuck in our proxy. Because that's how proxies work. Brit Rust World's PvE companion app could be kind of cool though, maybe eventually. Because like Rust Plus has an API, like we could make our own app. There is. All right.
The next one's an on-screen clock that displays the time.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
You don't have to set
Also,
up
if you don't know about it,
on your
/TOD.
Yeah. The next one's going to be removing by rhib from the deep sea.
I don't think so, because I think that there's still enough bugs that players driving their ships into cargoes would cause more issues. Like, you can't take a rhib into the deep sea. You have to have a player-made boat to get to the deep sea. But, like, ribs spawn in the deep sea, so I don't see a reason you can't, like, you shouldn't be able to spawn them.
The next one is going to be, please stop our hydration and food being drained when teleporting or eating items from the cooking station. The cooking station one, I'm pretty sure there's a bug report for that currently, if I remember
teleporting,
correctly.
if you mean going from world to world, is part of that whole, like, we need to get our foundation down, and we're almost there, and then build upon that with player status syncing.
If there's not a bug report, I'll come up for that, but I've seen that one. Please stop official comments, even in jest, about the AU server being the development server and other similar references to the AU server, as we already feel unloved.
I think somebody should screenshot that and forward it to Matt.
Yeah.
He been doing my AU people dirty while I've been gone.
I'll direct message him right now with that screenshot. Give me a moment.
Good.
I've been told to send you this directly. Bad. There we go. Sent.
Bad. I like that. All right.
Sent. Repair bench and hub. Can we get a repair bench in the hub so that we can skin items while talking to other people? He replied.
I need you to understand that A-Town would have to go back and do that for every single map we have to add a repair bench. No to the workbench, maybe to the repair bench.
Brit replied to the DM already.
What did he say?
I don't know if I should repeat it. He just said LOL.
Jerk. All right, what do we got
We'll
next?
tell Alice it's all right.
Yeah, we'll stick Alice on him.
Please stop the terminal counting as a TC.
I talked to Penguin about that because I didn't know that was a fucking thing until I was reading it right before the town hall, and I was like, "That's bullshit." He's gonna fix it. He's gonna fix it. It's bullshit. I'm sorry, that's that way.
No stability on at least one world permanently. Please, no stability is much more fun to build.
No stability is saved for 1 week wipes.
Item transfer. Would it even be possible, but a system to follow to allow transfer of similar items to other players to avoid having to TP to someone or having
We kind of talked about this
Y-
in separating out
yeah.
shopping stock and also player owned shops. It's on the list. We want to do it. Probably more towards V2 though.
Ballistic armor. Please change the metal armor to ballistic armor in the kit.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Currently, do you like? Here's the thing: pure fucking laziness. Because it's super easy for me to go in and just change the kits and like commit that to the GitHub, but then I have to go in and edit the entire fucking store with new screenshots and new descriptions for every. That sounds like the worst thing ever.
Delegate.
Yeah, but if I delegate it to Matt, then Matt's gonna go in and he's gonna put some bullshit in there, like he always does, because he doesn't actually read it. And then we're gonna get tickets, and the tickets are gonna be like, the store says that we get blah blah blah, and we don't get blah blah blah. And I'm like, you're never supposed to get it anyway. But Matt just writes up whatever magic comes to his brain.
Well, I could make the screenshots and the descriptions and then give them to you if that's easier, and then just.
I'm gonna level with you. I haven't gotten to actually play Rust since the ballistic armor came into the game.
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, I just added it to the loot tables for fuck's sake. I have to play with it first before I'm like, am I giving it to you on day one? Not that it really matters because I'm also giving you M2s and supply drops and Ts. So like, does it really matter? We'll see.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make a note for myself. A suggestion for myself: put gears in the components kit for the resources. Thank you. I don't know. I think for V2, we should add a wipe cooldown on kit redemption. 2 hours.
I'm gonna be so I forget about kits. Like I get one at the beginning of the wipe and then I forget about it for the rest of the wipe.
I just love how bad they get. I don't know. I get like the argument for wipe cooldown is that again it gives people who haven't paid for VIP a chance to like, but like also it's PvE, so like the only thing that's competitive about wipe day is getting to an X spot, right? And like that's why jetpacks are more expensive now.
See, this whole thing about presents, right? People hating presents. Nobody's forcing you to open them. You could just go find a spot and like a hole or something and just throw them in a hole. Nobody's forcing you to open them or use them.
You
or
can sell them. You can
You
sell
could just
them.
give them away. You could just throw them at some random. Just say, hey, does anybody want some presents? And just throw them away. You don't have to open them.
I'm not making the jetpack cheaper.
Throw them in the ocean. Then nobody gets them.
Not doing it. That comes up in the thread. I'm not making the jetpack cheaper.
I think we should make jetpack more expensive.
I can't bring the teleport gun back. It is literally a glitch stick. I just can't.
I think we should make the jetpack more expensive every single time somebody complains that it's too expensive.
I don't know. It probably broke, Red. I wasn't here for like the fixes. Yes. Yes, the economy. The end of the world. Gout. We're gonna go rounds on this every town hall, aren't we? It has nothing to do with liking or disliking the jetpack, and everything to do with the fact that like our number one ticket on wipe day is X spots, And it is unreasonable that like the people who have VIP take the stuff, recycle it, sell it to the server, buy a jetpack, and fly to the other side of the map in like T-minus like fucking 3 seconds flat. You don't, but other people do.
If a jetpack's too expensive, take 750 scrap and go to Bandit and buy a mini.
No, I'm not putting cooldown timer on a map. Do you have any idea the level of development and engineering that would have to go into that? Even on AU servers, they're still struggling, huh? A bully Baloo about that some more. All right, we are never gonna get through these questions. I can't. Let's go.
Yep, sorry. Sacrifice board. Can we have the current reward and how long it's active for displayed?
That's on Penguin's list already, even before the fucking town hall stuff. Like that bothers me too. I also want notifications to go out when you log in that let you know like double XP is ending in X hours or whatever.
Can we get the better elevator plugin?
No, we talked about this before, at the very, very beginning. We are no longer putting code into our code base that is written by people who are publicly available and sold on CodeFling. It is inefficient. It doesn't work well with our ecosystem. I'll take a look at the plugin, not at this very second, but maybe while Stinkerville's reading. Whatever. I'll see what the functionality is, and then we can talk as a team about it. All right, what's next?
Sunken crate. Sunken crates can't currently open them. There is even a skill to auto open them essentially, but that doesn't work either at the moment. The crates simply can't be actually opened. They don't even float to the surface.
Oh, that's weird.
Like
That sounds like a bug report.
Yeah, so it maybe needs to be opened as a ticket and then can be made into a bug report.
Yeah.
It's
just taller elevators. Do you just want to be able to go taller? Is that the functionality you actually want? Or do you want the other ones that are permission based? Because I don't know how I feel about like powerless or whatever, but just taller and buttons on each floor. Okay. No. Here's the thing. Paintings, notes. Penguin can explain it better, but essentially, the sheer fucking amount of data that would have to be saved quickly and then regen is it's damn near impossible. Like it's obscene. That would be obscene. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what's next?
Fixed skill tree perks, things like Sixth Sense and the workbench skill regularly often much of the time stop working, requires ST fix to be used and used a lot, an awful amount a lot.
It's a really old problem with having to do with the initialization of skill tree and syncing and cooldowns, and it's something that we got a band-aid on with ST fix essentially, and it very quickly became low priority in favor of kits and backpacks and item transfers and all the other things that we've had to get working for Worlds. Again, those things are getting significantly better. So now we'll be able to start putting more effort into them. ST buffs. No worky. It's on the list.
Right.
Because ST fix is it's individual. It's client side. It is simulating your on player connect. Yeah.
The next one is increasing floating foundation limit from 50 to at least 100.
Floating foundations will be looked at the same time as all the other limits are looked at for V2.
Setgenes. Please make it so setgene timer only triggers when you plant seeds. Currently planting any clones resets the cooldown timer. The cooldown timer is 3 hours, but we try to take a crop every hour. Planting a crop triggers the cooldown timer.
Though? If it does, it shouldn't.
It does. Anything you plant resets that 3-hour timer.
So if I set my genes and I plant one seed and I get my thing or whatever, and then like I run around and place a hemp seed, it resets the timer.
Mm-hmm. If you were to plant a seed and then an hour later you were to plant a pumpkin clone, it resets the timer.
Can we make a bug report for that? That's not how that should function.
Do that too. Next one is turrets. Could you make turrets at least a little bit useful, please? Have them shoot animals.
They are situationally useful, but maybe. I don't know how difficult that would be. Maybe.
And radtown event, either fix it or remove it, please.
I'm gonna be so fucking for with you. I got hella lazy on the events. I should probably take a look at those and start rotating them again. All right. What do we got next?
Home teleports. Give us back the 5th home teleport option, please.
It's gone? You don't have 5 anymore?
I'm unaware of this.
I don't know why you don't have 5 anymore. That's weird.
I've
It's
only
on the
left out like
list.
2 max. So.
As of this wipe, that's so weird. It's on the list.
Let's fight Brad's on our main
Actually,
world.
there is function. Sorry, in this Namek, there is genuinely, honest God, functionally no way for us to force your client to run commands and to like do that thing. If we were to change it so that it forcibly simulated the on-player connect for all players on the servers, it would be a lag fest, and we cannot do it. Like, there's no way for us to detect specifically which player's shit is like currently broken to like force the connect for you. So any functional way to have it be for like everybody is a non-starter performance-wise, and there's no functional way to detect which player needs it when. So make a keybind for now, but it is on the list to work on.
The next one is let's fight Brad's on the main world, and if can, we want Brad bases back.
Over my dead body. I don't know. Brads are already so fucking easy, guys. Like, yeah, like they're already so easy, and like.
Well, wouldn't we just complain about building things and having too many things to build and automate?
Yeah, I get it. I genuinely understand the draw of like building something that's clever and cool and your idea that utilizes the roofs to like bring the loot and the hoppers. Like I genuinely understand that, but like bruh, they're so fucking easy already. It's already a problem how easy they are. Why would I make them easier?
I ain't letting
really
Killer Mouse go down for that one. That was Gout. That was a Gout suggestion. I was gonna get it right out there. It was Gout.
Oh yeah, fucking appreciate you standing up for him. Okay.
The next one is, why do the AU servers show as being in Canada?
Because the server browser is garbage. I fucking promise you they're not in Canada. Like, on my life. Promise you. Like, honestly, if you ever want to, like, prove it to yourself, like, just ping it, like, from, like, on your computer, like, ping the server and, like, watch where it goes. Like, you can Google most of those fucking, like, connection nodes. You'll be able to find out pretty fucking quick if it's lying to you about where the server's located. Yeah, that does suck. Like, the not showing or whatever. I don't know, the server browser is trash. Okay. What do we got next?
The next one is more PvP elements, but I think they mean more in the terms of like events. So they suggested like gun game.
That would probably be more like map switching kind of content. So like I'm really glad that we've got Survival Arena on Hub. I wish I could find more arena maps. Like if you know of any, let me know. Cause like having the two kind of sucks. Other than that, like there's a paintball version that I think is even more broken now that they've added paintball guns. But as far as like gun game and stuff, it like would not be a good experience if we created yet another floating platform to facilitate that, you know what I mean, on the map. Like once we have map switching, absolutely that'd be fun. But trust me, you don't want yet another floating platform just to play gun game.
I feel like paintball guns have so much potential, but aren't they like client side, like the actual paintballs?
Yeah, that's
That
annoying. All right.
And the next one, unpopular opinion: remove sacrifice items entirely and prevent crafting in the hub to prevent spam. The alternative I would suggest would be a point system based on raids, brads completed, so people can collectively work together a common goal that doesn't involve spamming the hub with miscellaneous BS that drops frames and adds server load.
So there is a built-in max, so I think 10 items visually rendered at any given time going into the black hole for that reason, for efficiency. And if you drop something that's near the sacrifice pit that can't be sacrificed, it immediately goes back into your inventory. It's actually a significantly more efficient plugin than you would think, because trust you me, when Brit was like, hey, Turner, build me something that looks like a black hole that players can throw items into, I was the most against it. I was like, that sounds like a performance fucking nightmare. Like, that sounds fucking awful. There's no way that's like the most against it. But no, it's actually wildly efficient. Like, genuinely wildly efficient for what it is. Yeah, if people are spam crafting, like here's the thing, I don't want to remove crafting from Hub. I don't want to remove crafting from Hub because of the sacrifice board, but like spamming items on the ground will get your ass in trouble. Like it can result in at least a 1-day ban for first offense. Report these people. It is so easy for any of the staff team to get on and see the guy who's spam crafting. That's griefing. Spam crafting and like it can crash servers. Like,
and we have them do just run around and we will just delete you and kick you from the server, and then if you come back and you carry on, we will ban you.
Yeah, like it's against the rules. Report players.
That goes for opening golden eggs too. If you are spam opening golden eggs, which is not as easy now because you can't buy them in the in-game store anymore, but like spamming anything, throwing it on the floor will get you in trouble if you don't heed warnings when told to stop.
All right, what's next? I'm telling you, lag that you're experiencing in the hub has nothing to do with the item sacrifice board. Like, genuinely. It has nothing to do with it.
So we just get into like the chatty part of the suggestions. Find the actual suggestions. Will there
I know,
ever be
I
a
deleted
legendary
an
Brad?
entire conversation about somebody's, like, Zelle and their Snapchat. Like,
Will there ever be a legendary Brad?
yeah, eventually. Eventually there will be. Keep an eye out for the launch site event. High key, low key. Alright. No, I don't have anything in the works for it right now. Nothing to spoil for it. But yeah, eventually there will be. As soon as I figure out a way to make Brads difficult. I don't see the point in like creating a legendary Brad if you're just gonna like if it's just gonna be like an ash maker sink. You know what I mean? Like, for how many minutes can I make you shoot an ash maker is not fun content.
Next one is dynamic buffs on legendaries. Brit M2 can roll 20% to 50% damage boost instead of a static % damage boost.
I hate upgradable legendaries. I hate them. I hate the idea of them. It does sound like we might be working on an implementation of it that's similar but not that. Having more to do with sockets and like upgrade items rather than like.
Was this maybe an idea that I pitched a little while ago? That sounds like something I was suggesting a little while ago.
Maybe
Potentially.
than like a full-on meeting on it. No, there's no way to get a faster reload perk because even if Penguin can make the actual reloading of a weapon faster, he cannot make the animation any faster. Does that make sense? And they nerfed animation you can't animation cancel in Rust, so.
Virtual quarries can be accessed from all worlds. It's like a central virtual quarry. Supposed to be in.
Maybe eventually because like, yeah, you can't have more quarries. Yeah, maybe eventually. I'm not entirely sure. Like, I'm not entirely sure to be honest, because like, probably not TOS. Is it against TOS to make a client that injects scripts to make your weapon reload faster to give you a competitive advantage? Absolutely, that's cheating. But like to make a plugin that would be operated server side, it's different. Like fucking double jump is cheating in vanilla Rust, you know what I mean? Like faster movement and swim speed from prestige is cheating in regular Rust. But we're running these things server side.
Don't tell them I can no clip.
Yeah.
I don't want to get banned.
We already talked about that. No, I'm not doing rewards for the top anything ever, 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 ever. Never again. Sorry. PTSD. No.
But I was first.
It's bragging rights only, bro. Bragging rights only. Because we've had leaderboards in the past and the amount of fucking effort. Like, I say this with all of the love in the world, but like the amount of parenting that PvE players need when they've decide that something's not fair or they don't get their way is atrocious. Unborn Bug would be banned if we still had a leaderboard.
Can you ban him anyway? He's kind of annoying. Pretty good at building giant elevators, though.
Being a public nuisance make player reports. I fucking can't stand it. For some fucking reason, you people like when you have internet radio guy with his fucking Xbox 360 inline mic blasting fucking iHeartRadio in the fucking hub. I don't get it, but like, if it's
playing
not
music through
reported, if it's not
mic
getting
spamming.
reported, I assume it's not a problem.
It's mic spamming. They will be told to stop. And if they
Yeah.
don't stop that, then it will be taken further. It's
But
not
if I'm
something
in the
they have
hub
to
and
do.
40 people are jamming with fucking Xbox 360 guy and there's not a single report ticket for it, I'm not going to be a dick to be a dick and ruin everyone's fun. You know what I mean?
Having a boombox is one thing. Playing it through your microphone that you won out of a McDonald's Happy Meal is another thing.
Right. If we make an area for it, they're not going to use it.
We had a
They
whole
want
underworld
the
in the hub
reaction.
for so long.
We've had Underworld, we
Nobody
have the
used it.
band area, we've got the entire player fucking own shops to be built area, like. Right, like I said though, like if nobody's complaining, I'm assuming it's not a problem if it doesn't like break our rules. I don't think anybody on the staff is gonna like show up and be like, "Hey, look at all this community engagement. Go fuck yourself." You know what I mean? Like.
Just be sure that if you're playing music through your microphone that it doesn't have any prohibited or offensive language in it, because you will find yourself muted. Putting the PSA out there.
Right. All right. We gotta keep going. We have been here for 4 hours. 3 hours.
Quartermasters. The interest in the cleanest streets and the 1 hour cooldown, massive RP and XP reward, and requesting significant changes to cooldown requirements of quartermasters, e.g. tier 1 to 3 maximum 1 hour cooldown.
Nope, the
for every 10
cooldowns
minutes.
have been chosen for a reason, and that reason is to time out your progression. XP is the only reason to fucking progress, and if you can just spam the shit out of XP, like you're gonna get PR 10 and leave before
People are
XP
already
life
PR
is
10 in
back.
a couple of wipes and asking for prestige resets.
Listen, that is 100% my fault this time around. I fucked up multiple ways, okay? Like multiple fuck ups that contributed to everybody having a million XP. Like we don't need to talk about it. I fucked up, okay?
I just want to say the tier 5 cooldown maximum 24 hours. That is wild. Like I don't think I can complete tier 5s in 24 hours.
There are people that do, but like
I think
that
it's one in like
the
4
fact that you
5
want
hours,
that
I'll
amount of
never
XP
again.
daily is crazy to me.
The next one's vending machines. Speed of vending machines, player and server had previously been increased significantly, but now most of, not all, are back to standard speed.
I need you to name specific vending machines, because we completely rewrote Monument add-ons to include vending machines so that we could individually decide whether things are going to, player vendies. And the player vendies have always been vanilla speed. Custom vending machine used to control it, so like maybe. But like we specifically went through and decided specifically which vending machines we wanted to have the animation cooldowns versus to be able to spam versus to have like limited stock, things like that. I liked the meteor shower, but probably not. It was not very performative. Like it was not good resource consumption wise. Because you will get / commands for world teleports when player owned shops.
We've already got jet.
And if you drop things for people responsibly, no, you will not get banned. If you show up into the hub and spam hundreds of thousands of fucking items on the ground, or like spam open eggs and just create leg, then you might get banned.
Also, if you're dropping items on the floor for another player and somebody else comes along and snatches them, we will not refund you because there are trading windows for a reason. So, use trading windows if you're going to be giving items to other players, please.
Real. Okay. I'm trying to catch up to where you were. Are we there?
We're getting near the bottom. We're right near the bottom.
Okay.
We'll allow an extra level. This is about PR 10. We'll allow an extra level. It's better than nothing. Once you get to level 200-ish, you'll need more than 1,000,000 points to gain a level.
Mate, hold on. We are a few months out of B2, and the one thing that everybody on the development team can agree on is that skill tree sucks and we want to throw it into a fire. We're going to build our own. Like the prestige system, the leveling system, the skill tree, all of it. Like I understand you have concerns and questions and things like that, but like spending a bunch of time talking about like and arguing and debating whether we should allow this or have more prestiges or change it this way doesn't accomplish anything when I'm going to burn the plugin. You know what I mean? Like skill tree is ass. It is really poor on performance, and it was built for servers to have an easy option to add RPG elements to their server. And it does what it says on the tin, right? That's great. It's a market that needed filling, and that's fine. But like it doesn't play well with the level of customization that we want to and currently do. Yeah, I know. I said do.
You said do. It was a good placeholder.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is, right? It's just
it is plug and play, Jari, in the fact that like you drop it in and you have a skill tree, and it does not take fuck all in the way of configuration. Like it really doesn't. Like it has a lot of customization available to it within its wheelhouse, but it just doesn't work for like what we're trying to do. We're not gonna sit here and shit on specific plugins for
look what
they're performative or not.
somebody just mentioned. Do I get to do it? Do I finally get to do it?
Is it him? Yeah. I think in a week.
Oh, I only did 60 seconds, but I can up it.
Nah, he hasn't been too terrible lately.
Be a quiet 60 seconds.
Okay. Anything else?
Increase furnace limits was the last one.
Will be looked into with the limits. Again, a lot of the early limits for fire stuff was a lot of the early limits for fire stuff was during the wood economy. Unborn is rapidly DMing me.
18 seconds. He can chill for 18 seconds. He knows better than to DM me.
Within reason. You can throw things within reason. Like, I don't know. How hard is it to like just behave yourself? Like, if someone's like, "Hey, I don't like that," like, don't do that. Like,
it's very clear. If and the thing is, anything you do on the server, if a member of staff comes up to you and reasonably says to you, "Stop doing that," and then you carry on doing it, that's when you should be concerned about like what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like it's you know if you shouldn't be doing something.
Right.
Everybody's got a brain.
All right. This was a very tangent-filled town hall. But
hockey pucks and everything.
Oh,
the football's about to start. We've been told to wrap it up.
Yeah, and
thank you, Casato.
I will look into tickets in a minute. I literally just like do not leave the screen. All right. You guys have been wonderful. I appreciate you all. You have 20 minutes to be on to make sure you're online. Things are going to start happening in 20 minutes as a thank you for the town hall. So, GG's. See you there. Thanks for coming. Have a great rest of your night, guys. Bye.
Goodbye. Thank you for coming to Brit's Town Hall.
Don't do it again. That's creepy.